Here are some battles you do not talk about often. Some nights you do not know how to explain. Some tears you wiped away before anyone could see them. There were moments when you smiled in front of people, but deep inside, you were trying to survive. You were carrying pain, carrying fear, carrying questions, carrying a weight that felt too heavy for your heart. Maybe you did not know how you were going to make it through. Maybe you felt like everything around you was falling apart. Maybe your strength became so small that all you could do was whisper, "Jesus, please help me." And somehow you are still here, still breathing, still standing, still believing. Not because every day was easy. Not because you never cried. Not because you had all the answers. You survived because God was there. He was there in the silence. He was there in the storm. He was there in the nights when sleep would not come. He was there when you felt too weak to pray. He was there when your faith became nothing more than a whisper. God did not leave you. His hand was holding you when you did not even realize it. His mercy was covering you when you thought you were alone. His strength was carrying you when you had none left of your own. So take a deep breath. Let your heart become quiet. And let these Bible verses remind you of one powerful truth. You are still here because God was there. Psalm 124, 1, 2, 8. If it had not been the Lord who was on our side, our help is in the name of the Lord. Father, when I look back over my life, I know the truth. If you had not been on my side, I do not know where I would be. If your hand had not held me, I do not know how I would have kept going. If your mercy had not found me, I do not know how I would have survived the moments that tried to break me. Lord, you were on my side. When the pressure rose, you were there. When people misunderstood me, you were there. When my heart felt fragile, you were there. When I did not have the words to pray, you were still there. My help did not come from my own strength. My help came from you. And today, I stop to say thank you. Thank you for standing beside me. Thank you for covering me. Thank you for keeping me alive. Psalm 94, 7, 18. Unless the Lord had given me help, I would soon have dwelt in the silence of death. When I said, "My foot is slipping," your unfailing love, Lord, supported me. Lord, there were moments when I felt myself slipping into fear, slipping into hopelessness, slipping into exhaustion, slipping into the belief that nothing would ever change. But your love supported me. You did not let me fall beyond your reach. You did not let the darkness swallow me. You did not let the storm have the final word. Father, I may have stumbled, but you held me. I may have cried, but you comforted me. I may have felt weak, but your love became strength beneath my feet. When I could not hold myself up, you supported me. Your unfailing love kept me standing. Your mercy became the reason I made it through. Isaiah 46:4. Even to your old age and gray hairs, I am He. I have made you and I will carry you. I will sustain you and I will rescue you. Father, you are the God who carries me. Not only when I am strong, only when my faith is steady. Not only when I know what to do. You carry me when I feel weak. You carry me when I feel confused. You carry me when my heart is tired. You Carry me when I cannot see the way forward. Lord, you made me. You know every part of me. You know the weight I carried, quietly. You know the days when I felt drained. You know the moments when I needed rescue. And you did not turn away. You sustained me. You carried me. You rescued me. Father, keep carrying me. Let me stop pretending that I have to do everything alone. Let me rest in your strength. Psalm 116:6. When I was brought low, he saved me. Lord, I remember the low places, the places where my heart felt heavy, the places where I felt disappointed, the places where I felt forgotten, the places where I wondered if I would ever feel like myself again. But when I was brought low, you saved me. You did not shame me for being weak. You did not walk away because I was struggling. You came close. You reached down. You lifted me. Father, thank you for meeting me in the valley. Thank you for loving me in the low place. Thank you for holding me when my strength disappeared. Thank you for reminding me that the valley was not my final destination. You saved me, and I will never stop thanking you. Deuteronomy 33:27. The eternal God is your refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms. Father, your arms were underneath me. Even when I thought I was falling, your arms were there. Even when I thought everything was collapsing, your arms were there. Even when the pain became too much to explain, your arms were there. Lord, you became my refuge. You became the safe place I could run to. You became the shelter where my soul could breathe. You became the strength beneath my weakness. Your arms are everlasting. They do not become tired. They do not let go. They do not fail. Father, hold me again today. Let my heart rest in the truth that I am safe in your arms. 2 Corinthians 1:8-10. We were under great pressure, far beyond our ability to endure. But this happened that we might not rely on ourselves, but on God. He has delivered us, and He will deliver us again. Lord, there were moments when the pressure felt beyond my ability to endure. I tried to be strong. I tried to hold everything together. I tried to keep smiling. I tried to keep moving. But deep inside, I knew I could not carry it alone. Father, you taught me to depend on you, not on my own strength, not on my own understanding, not on my ability to control everything, but on you, the God who delivers. You delivered me before. You are delivering me now, and I believe you will deliver me again. Lord, when another difficult day comes, remind me of every battle you already brought me through. Let yesterday's deliverance become today's courage. Psalm 54:4. Surely God is my help. The Lord is the one who sustains me. Father, you sustained me when my energy disappeared. You sustained me when my confidence became small. You sustained me when my prayers became quiet. You sustained me when my heart felt tired of fighting. You sustained me, Lord. You gave me enough strength for the next breath, enough courage for the next step, enough grace for the next morning, enough peace to keep going. I did not always feel powerful. Sometimes survival looked like getting out of bed. Sometimes faith looked like whispering your name. Sometimes courage looked like refusing to give up. And through it all, you sustained me, Father. Be my help again today. Exodus 14:14. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Lord, there were battles I could not win on my own. Situations I could not fix. Doors I could not open. People I could not change. Problems I could not solve. And I exhausted myself trying to carry what belonged in your hands. But your word says, you will fight for me. Teach me to be still. Teach me to stop fighting every battle in my mind. Teach me to stop replaying every worry. Teach me to surrender the things outside my control. Father, fight the battles I cannot fight. Go before me. Stand behind me. Surround me. Let your peace become stronger than my fear. I survived because I was never fighting alone. Psalm 121, 1-2. I lift up my eyes to the mountains. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord. Father, I lift my eyes. Not to the problem, not to the fear, not to the voices that tell me I cannot make it. I lift my eyes to you. My help comes from you. When I felt surrounded, you became my way out. When I felt empty, you became my strength. When I felt lost, you became my direction. When I felt afraid, you became my peace. Lord, help me keep looking up. Help me remember that the size of my problem does not change the size of my God. You are still greater. You are still faithful. You are still my help. Timothy 4:17-18. But the Lord stood at my side and gave me strength. The Lord will rescue me from every evil attack and will bring me safely to his heavenly kingdom. Jesus, you stood beside me when I felt alone. You stood beside me when I felt unsupported. You stood beside me when I walked through moments no one else fully understood. You stood beside me. Lord, you gave me strength. Not always enough strength for the entire journey at once, but enough for the next step. Enough for the next decision. Enough for the next prayer. Enough for the next sunrise. Father, thank you for standing with me when I felt abandoned. Thank you for being my faithful companion. Thank you for rescuing me. Thank you for bringing me safely through. Psalm 34:19. The righteous person may have many troubles, but the Lord delivers him from them all. Lord, your word does not pretend that life is always easy. There are troubles. There are storms. There are moments of pain. There are seasons of waiting. But trouble is not the end of the story. Deliverance is coming. Father, thank you that my difficulty did not mean you had left me. Thank you that my tears did not mean I had been forgotten. Thank you that the struggle did not cancel your love. You were still working. You were still protecting. You were still guiding. You were still preparing a way out. Lord, deliver me from every burden I am still carrying. Bring freedom into my heart. Bring peace into my mind. Bring healing into my soul. Lamentations 3:22-23. Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Father, I was not consumed. The fire did not destroy me. The storm did not finish me. The pain did not erase me. The disappointment did not steal everything. I am still here because your compassion did not fail. Every morning, mercy met me every morning. Grace found me every morning. Your love gave me another chance to breathe, another chance to believe, another chance to rise. Lord, thank you for new mercy. Thank you for compassion that never becomes tired of me. Thank you for giving me life again and again. Psalm 41:3. He lifted me out of the slimy pit. He set my feet on a rock and gave me a firm place to stand. Lord, you lifted me. I could not climb out by myself. I could not rescue myself. I could not force healing to happen, but you reached into the pit. You found me in the mud. You found me in the heaviness. You found me in the place where I felt stuck, and you lifted me. Father, thank you for setting my feet on solid ground. Thank you for giving me stability again. Thank you for giving me hope again. Thank you for placing a new song in my mouth. I may still remember the pit, but I do not live there anymore. Your hand brought me out. Nahum 1:7. The Lord is good, a refuge in times of trouble. He cares for those who trust in him. Father, you are good, not only when life feels easy, not only when prayers are answered quickly, not only when the path is clear. You are good in the storm, good in the valley, good in the waiting, good when tears fall, good when I do not understand. Lord, you became my refuge. You became the place where my soul could rest. You cared for me. You noticed my pain. You heard my prayers. You saw the tears no one else saw, and you stayed. Father, let your goodness become the truth I hold on to. Psalm 118:13 and 14. I was pushed back and about to fall, but the Lord helped me. The Lord is my strength and my defense. He has become my salvation. Lord, I was pushed back. There were moments when I almost fell. Moments when I felt like giving up. Moments when fear felt stronger than faith. Moments when I questioned whether I could keep going. But you helped me. You became my strength. You became my defense. You became my salvation. Father, I stand today as a testimony, not a testimony of my own strength, but of your faithfulness. Not a testimony that life was always easy, but that you were always there. Not a testimony that I never fell, but that your hand kept lifting me. Lord, you helped me survive, and I give you all the glory. Father, I survived because you were there. When the days felt heavy, you were there. When the nights felt long, you were there. When I felt misunderstood, you were there. When I cried silently, you were there. When my heart felt exhausted, you were there. When fear tried to convince me that I would never make it through, you were there. Lord, thank you for the strength I did not know came from you. Thank you for the doors you closed for my protection. Thank you for the battles you fought while I slept. Thank you for the danger you kept away from me. Thank you for the people you sent at the right moment. Thank you for the peace you gave before the circumstances changed. Thank you for every morning you woke me up with new mercy. Father, there were times when I felt like I was barely holding on, but now I realize you were holding on to me. There were moments when I thought my faith had disappeared, but even then, your faithfulness remained. There were moments when I thought I had reached the end, but your grace created another step. Lord, heal the parts of my heart that are still carrying the memory of the storm. Heal the fear that still rises when I remember what happened. Heal the exhaustion that settled deep inside me. Heal the places where survival became my normal way of living. Father, teach me how to breathe again. Teach me how to rest again. Teach me how to trust again. Teach me how to enjoy the life you preserved. I do not want to live every day expecting another storm. I want to live with gratitude. I want to live with peace. I want to live knowing that the same God who carried me before will carry me again. Jesus, let my survival become a testimony. Let my pain become compassion for someone else. Let my tears become a source of encouragement. Let my healing become evidence of your mercy. Let my life tell the world, God still saves. God still carries. God still restores. God still stays. Father, I am still here, and I know why. I survived because you were there. Say this slowly. With faith, God was with me in the storm. God was with me in the valley. God was with me in the silence. God was with me in the pain. God never left me. God carried me. God sustained me. God rescued me. God protected me. God gave me another chance. I am not forgotten. I am not defeated. I am not alone. The storm did not destroy me. The pain did not finish me. The battle did not take me out. I am still standing by the grace of God. I survived because God was there, and He is still with me now. In Jesus' name, amen. If this prayer touched your heart, take one more slow breath, and remember this truth: you did not make it through alone. God was there. He was there when you cried. He was there when you felt weak. He was there when you could not see the way forward. His hand held you. His mercy covered you. His grace carried you. If this blessed you, like this video, subscribe and share it with someone who needs encouragement today. And always remember, you survived because God was there.